Her stepson came to me and said, my father is dying of pancreatic cancer, and we in the family are concerned that there are people who will take advantage of Sally. Will you please call my father and find out what he wants to have happen so that she's protected? I called him up. He lived in a little town far away from here. He had definite ideas what he wanted to do. And so we worked together, we got everything in order. I called him up again. He was too sick to come to Salt Lake. And so I said I would come to his home and we'd take care of this. And so I tried to schedule a time for Thursday afternoon. And he said, no. He said, I just don't want to talk to anybody about dying this week. He said, I'll feel better next week, but let's not talk about it this week. Well, the next week was Thursday, so we scheduled an appointment. On Sunday night, he passed away. Within 2 weeks of his passing, the stepson who had called me and said, will you protect Sally, filed a lawsuit against Sally. It ended up being in 2 courts, one in Salt Lake area and one in northern Utah. Now, the very first thing that a court has to decide in a situation like that is who's in charge. Now, most people refer to that as the executor, but in Utah it's called the personal representative. That's the first issue. Wow, that's really tight. In Utah, we call that personal representative. And the only person that had a claim of right under the statute to be in charge was Sally. She's the only one. 18 months, 10 separate hearings, and the judge finally decided that Sally was the person to be appointed as personal representative. It was open and shut. It was black letter law. There was no question at all what should happen. Why did it take 18 months? Because there were 3 sets of lawyers involved, and they have to go through a process. That's not the worst part. The worst part is it cost her $80,000 during those 18 months. I talked to her many times, and I said, Sally, they just want money. Give them some money and they'll go away. And she said, no, my husband wanted to do things a certain way, and that's the way we're going to do it. Now, you may think she was wealthy. She wasn't. Her entire estate was $450,000. She lived in what we would refer to as a mobile home.